You too was good. Welcome to another episode of New York Prison Talks. Today I want to talk about relationships. Dealing with relationships in prison the whole way, from the beginning to the end. See, when I first got locked up, I had about like 5 girlfriends I was talking to. Had about 5. After about a month, I had about 3. Why? Depends on what type of female you dealing with. Is gonna want to stay with you throughout the bed. If you got somebody that you know that she be just dealing with everybody and you know you dealing with her, you expect her not to be with you the whole bed. Expect her to be gone. Probably right as soon as you get locked up. She might not write you at all. She might write you, but she probably won't see you if you go far. You got somebody that's broke, she ain't gonna hold you down. She can't. She can't hold herself down. How's she gonna hold you down? So don't expect her to be writing you letters, sending you packages, sending you money, none of that. Because she can't help herself, how's she gonna help you? I had a couple of those like that. I also had girls that was there for me, sending me packages. Always had the phone on, coming to visit, depending on where I was at. I had some girls coming to visit me when I was all the way into Canada. That only happened a few times, but at least they pulled up. You got depending on the female, depending on if she gonna stay with you throughout the bed. Depending on how long your bed is too, because some girls might be with you if you get a bed that's only like a couple months. Unless you get a couple years, that might be a different story. They might be weighing the options. They not seeing you no more. They gotta keep in contact with you by writing letters or putting money on the phone. Putting money on the phone, that adds up. You calling her all day, 5, 6 times a day. That's about good $10, $20, depending on how many clicks you spend it. So she gotta keep adding that on. She doing that almost every 2 days. Then she got bills. And then you stressing her because you asking her for money every couple weeks. You telling her to send some money, send some packages, tell her to send some food and clothes. And now you putting all of this on her shoulders for a whole bed. It's very select few women that would do that for the whole bed, depending on how long your bed is. I had an 8-year bed. For about a good 3, 4 years, I had a girl that was holding me down, strong, sending me packages. She wasn't coming to see me because she was a few states away. But she always had the phone on, and she was always sending me packages and money. After a few years, she got tired. She got tired of all that shit. Me asking her for money or keeping the phone on. Trying to build a relationship that's hard when you really can't see the person or be intimate the way you want to be. So if you know you about to get locked up, or if people that know they got somebody that's dealing with relationship that got a girl and they about to go crazy because they feel like they about to kill themselves because they feel like their girl probably out there probably fucking somebody else. You gotta just tell them it is what it is. They gotta keep it moving because out of sight, out of mind. That's one thing about it. You get locked up, people forget about you. They gonna forget about you. If you're not there, they gonna forget. Why? Because you not dealing with them, no more contact. It's like they dealing with the outside world. You inside. You stuck dealing with the inside world. Every time you trying to reach them, you spending money. Because every time you reach them, you calling them. You spending money doing that. Writing a letter, that gets whacked. Letters get whacked because you gotta send a letter and it takes a few days for them to get the letter. And then it's gonna take a few days for them to respond back. So all of that's gonna be a whole week to go by. You send a letter one Tuesday, you might not get a response back to the next Monday. depending on how fast it takes for them to get the letter. 2 to 3 days. That gets whacked. Phone calls get whacked too. And then you got visits. You getting visits all the time. You're going to be feeling a lot better. You might be feeling bad at the end of the visit because you got to let go of shorty. But you're going to be all right. But if you know you somebody that got a girl that's basically a little hoe and you know she give it up like that, expect her to be gone fast. If you know somebody that got a ride, that's a rider, try not to piss her off the whole bit because y'all gonna be having a lot of problems. She's probably gonna be a couple times she might get into a few little money situations and she probably can't send the money right away. You just gotta hold that down. Don't expect her to just be always just sending you money in packages if she don't really got it like that. If she trying to hold herself down and you down, you gotta just play it by ear. But if you know you got one of them type of chicks that she gonna be gone eventually, just milk her the best way you could then. If you know she gonna just be gone one day, cause you know you probably got like 10 to 15 years, and you know that she might not be there the whole bit. So just milk her the best way you could, but try to milk it as long as you could too, the same way. Dealing with relationships, you gonna be it's gonna have you going crazy, depending on what type of female you have. Because if you think you got one of them girls that be doing shit on the low and shit, that shit gonna be fucking with you mentally your whole bed. It could, because every time you call her, you feel like you feel like she acting funny because she not picking the phone up or just stuff like that. That's gonna mess up the bed. Don't be trying to go through that type of stuff. Don't be thinking like that, because mentally it's just going to tear you down every day. And then your mindset is always going to be dealing like that. And then that's going to make y'all really be into real problems in your relationship and possibility of splitting up. Because just remember, she could just go and you can't do nothing about it. Because what you going to do is she block you from the phone calls. You can't call her. You write her, she don't respond back. What is you gonna do? Right? Hit somebody else up and tell them to hit her up. That's the only thing you really could do, and then that ain't really gonna do much. Depending on if they family or somebody or how close they are. But that ain't really doing much. So if you know you got one of them type of girls that's not gonna be there the whole bit, just milk her slow. Just milk her real slow though. Just saying. Dealing with relationships get hard in jail because every day you gotta deal with stuff on the inside, and then you gotta tell it to her. Tell it to her. And she don't really wanna be hearing all of that shit. She don't really wanna be hearing that you going through all that shit. You think she wanna be hearing that all she hear every time you call her is that you talk about somebody that's got cut or was just fights, or you couldn't come out your cell because people was fighting and y'all was on lockdown and y'all just be on lockdown all the time, and that's why you can't call. Stuff like that happen. You always getting locked up, or you always in a box, or you always on lockdown. That's another reason for her just to leave faster. If you somebody that's always gonna be in the box, always fighting and doing that shit, and you thinking this chick gonna just be holding you down, because if you in the box, you ain't having no phone calls. All you doing is writing wild letters. You just writing a lot of letters, and that shit get whacked. You got some niggas that be writing they shorty every single day. They write one letter a day. She get a letter every day. I know, so I did that for a little while. It gets whacked though. She ain't doing the same shit back. She ain't writing you every day. I knew a few dudes that had girls that would write them every day back. They probably ain't really had nothing to do at home. But the chicks I was dealing with, they had work, they had a life, and I was holding them back. And if you somebody that's gonna be going to the box, you really gonna be holding them back because that's less contact even more. Cause you only use the phone once a month in the box, if that. If that. You get lucky for that phone call. He might forget about you or swindle you and you never get on. Those are problems you gotta deal with. Remember, if you get locked up, you go to the box and you got a girl and you ain't gonna be calling her. You gonna be tight. You can't get things, no packages, none of that shit. Shit get whacked. Don't get locked up, people. You just be in a hole in a hole. You be in two jails. You be in a jail and a jail. That's the box. You don't want to be in none of that shit. Try not to get locked up and you got a girl. Don't be doing dumb shit. You know you got a girl that you love. Because that girl that loves you back could love another nigga too the same way. Because that nigga could try to take her away from you. And some dudes do that on purpose just because they know you locked up. So you just got to watch out and just be on point the best way you could be. Don't be trying to do dumb things and get locked up. Don't deal with anything to get you locked up. Because if you got girls and stuff, that's going to be a problem. You're going to be tight dealing with females, relationships, dealing with dudes on the inside, the gang banging. Then you got to call her, and she telling you everything. And then she asks you what you doing, and you tell her the same thing every day. What you doing? Just talking to you on the phone, watching other niggas. That's it. You ain't really got nothing to tell her. Because every day it's the same thing in there. It's really no new news, but just violence. That's all that goes on. You ain't got no good news. The good news we want to try to tell is that you trying to get home closer or visit to talk about something. And you really want to, when you call your girl, you kind of be getting tight. I mean, I kind of was getting tight. She'll tell me all the things that's going on, that's popping and stuff. And I'm missing out on all of that shit. So all that shit just holds you down, makes you get tight, makes you not want to talk on the phone. Conversation gets whacked. That's just regular jail struggles. Dealing with relationships in jail gets hard on both ends. So I really can't blame the female or vice versa, whoever it is on the outside that kind of wants to move on, especially if you got a long bed. And if they want to move on, that's kind of, I kind of could agree with that because that shit could get rough. I know some dudes that got wives and they got life. And they got wives that be holding them down, sending them packages or every month, sending them money every 2 weeks, and always coming to see them with visits. You got some wives like that. But every girl is not like that. Only a select few. Them type of chicks that probably be holding their mans down for life probably is somebody that can't get a nigga out here in the world or could get them to love somebody like them out here, but the dude on the inside is showing them all the love they could on the inside, and that's the only reason why they probably with them. It's all different type of females in the world. I knew a few wives like that. Dude, they didn't have no love on the outside, but they could get it on the inside. That's the best way they could. But every female's not like that. So if you know somebody that's dealing with relationships, man, think hard about that. Especially if you got a long bed. Because it could get rough. My 8-year bed got rough. I had 5 girlfriends. The beginning, had 3 like in after a month. I had a couple coming to see me my first few months. And then after about like a good year or two, I only had about like one, and then off and on, another one kept coming back into my bed. I kept like it was like a recycle. Like they kept coming in and out of my bed. Like every other year or two, I would talk to them, or they would hit me up or write me because they missed me and wondered how I was doing, or I would write them, and I would go on through my whole bed. That shit get whack. It gets whack. So if you somebody that's gonna be dealing with relationships, think about that. I'm talking about on both sides, the female and the male side. Think about that. Thank you for coming on my channel once again. Thank you for everybody that's new to my channel. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Hit the like and subscribe button once again. More related topics on the way. Thank you.